Shut guys, welcome to another gardening video on my channel. Today we're going to be giving you 10 crops that you should be growing right now in March in South Africa. Okay, we're going to give you some flowers, we're going to give you some herbs, and most importantly we're going to give you some veggies. We're going to also sprinkle in some of the companion plants, you know, their friends. Okay, you need to companionize them. Then we're going to advise you on whether you should direct sow them or transplant them. I hope you enjoy the video. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, become a member. Let's do what it got. So first on the list we have radish, and guys, you see these radishes are growing so beautiful. This has really over the years has become one of my favorite crops to grow. Definitely one of the quicker crops in the garden. So as this is a root crop, I would always suggest that you always start it in the soil, so no transplanting. And then what I would say is companionize them with some marigold. You can see we have some marigold over here, so the marigold will help with actually getting rid of some of the pests that like the radish. So radish and tomatoes actually help each other in terms of getting rid of pests. So the radish will help getting rid of some of the pests that like to hang around the tomatoes. Now then the last companion is carrots. Carrots are also a really nice root crop to be growing with the radish. They don't compete for nutrients and they can live with each other in terms of spacing as well. So yeah, get those crops in. Okay, get the radish, get some radish in your garden. Then we move along to spinach. You know, this is a staple. This should be a staple in every person's garden right now, especially because it's the perfect time to be growing some spinach. So definitely get some spinach in, and these are always going to be in your garden. So just make sure that you are always harvesting. You know, the more you harvest, the more it actually grows. So with the spinach is a very versatile crop. So this one you can either direct sow them or transplant them. Doesn't really have an issue. So good companion plants for the spinach are and you guessed it, some marigold. Guys, you know I love some marigold. Some marigold is, man, come on, just get some marigold in your garden. But definitely one that really goes well with the spinach. This one can also deter a lot of the pests that the spinach attracts. Then we also have some brassicas. So brassicas, this would include cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, those type of brassicas. There you can pair them up well with the actual spinach because they don't actually compete for the same nutrients. Then the last companion plant would be peas. Peas is a really nice one. That one also really grows really well with the spinach. The peas actually fix the nitrogen for the spinach, which makes it more healthy, more green, more voluptuous. You can see how beautiful. Then the next crop to grow in March is kale. I'm really excited because I really was waiting a long time to actually be growing some of the kale. So I'm actually really excited that the season has arrived. And what I like about the kale as well is that, you know, there's a lot of varieties that you can choose from. And it also grows. It's one of the crops that actually grow really fast. So yeah, just like the spinach, kale, the more you harvest, the more you get out of it. I would say you can either direct sow it or transplant. Doesn't really it's not really bothersome with that. So dill is a nice companion plant for kale, as this deters some of the pests. Then we have nasturtium. Nasturtium is a really nice companion plant for the kale, as well as this one also deters a lot of the pests for the kale. Then another great companion plant for the kale is beetroot. Beetroot is also good because they don't compete for the same nutrients, and as kale is a much larger crop, it can actually provide some shade for the beetroot and the soil. And if you know that beetroot is also a root crop, so it really likes soft soil, so that could really the shade could really help in keeping the soil moist for the beetroots. So that actually brings me to the next crop, which is exactly that, beetroot. So beetroot is a great one to be growing in the garden right now. So this one I would definitely suggest that you direct sow them, as it's a root crop, direct sow. So beetroot is another quick growing crop, and you wouldn't have to really worry about the spacing. Yeah, you can put a lot of beetroot in a small space. You can even grow these in pots. So a nice companion plant for the beetroot are brassicas. So this one we have some cabbage. So brassicas would really do really well with the beetroot, as I said, they don't compete with nutrients. So the radish is a great companion plant for beetroot, as the radish grows quicker than the actual beetroot, and in this way you'll be able to harvest quicker than the actual beetroot, and the radish will break down the soil for the actual beetroot when it starts producing the actual beetroot, right? So pairing this up will do wonders for the soil for the beetroot. Then another one is spinach. Spinach goes well with the beetroot, as again it's similar to how the kale, where the spinach will provide some shade for the beetroot, so that the soil is much better for the beetroot to flourish. And also these two crops don't compete for nutrients. Then the next crop and the last crop for the veggies is cauliflower. If you can see it, it's in and amongst the beauty of the garden, but definitely cauliflower, another nice one to be growing in the garden. It doesn't really affect the plant whether you direct sow or you transplant, so whichever one works best for you. Then we also then the companion plants for these crops are nasturtium. Again, you know I love the nasturtium. This one again, it helps with the pest control. Yeah, so another great companion plant is onion. So onion will do really well with the cauliflower, as it also gets rid of aphids and cabbage worms, which actually really like to get attracted to the cauliflower. Then we also have celery. So celery will also do the same, which getting rid of some cabbage moths and also improving the soil for the cauliflower. So get those crops in, man. So moving right along, we have some rocket. And if you don't know some rocket is like a herb. Basically, you can put it in your salads and just give it a nice little tangy, you know. So rocket is a nice one, very nice herb to be growing in March right now. So the rocket will go really well with some lettuce, right? It will do well with some beans, as well as the beans actually fix the nitrogen for the actual rocket. Then we also have the radish as well. You know, the radish, it seems like the radish is doing well with everybody. And then the last companion would be mint. This one can help with getting a lot of the pests that get attracted to the rocket. Another herb that you should be growing right now is coriander, and coriander goes really well with the tomatoes. Then you can also pair this up with some lettuce and also the spinach as well. So get those in. Then moving straight along to the flowers. The flowers, we have viola, gazania, and a favorite, protea. So protea, you know, so definitely this should be a great flower to grow in a South African garden. I actually don't have any companion plants for the proteas. If you have any idea the crops that grow well with the protea, put it in the comments. Let the community know. Let me know. Okay. Then viola goes really well with lettuce, spinach, and radish. So these ones you can pair them up with the violas. Then for gazania, their companion plants are thyme and lavender. So get those two crops in. If you can give me a third one, I'd love you forever. So yeah, guys, that will bring me to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. You know, just put in the comments what you thought, how your growing season is growing as well. And also, yeah, become a member. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. You know I'm posting Sundays and Wednesdays. So definitely I'll see you in the next video on Wednesday. I love you guys all. You're my favorite. Love, peace, grow every single time.